held the third Thursday of each month. As board members, we encourage you to attend, watch, and listen to our committee discussion resulting in action at the board meetings. For full disclosure, our committee meetings and board meetings are always announced, video and audio taped, as well as posted to our webpage for your view. All of our meetings are public and visitors are welcome. Mrs. Camphouse, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Atwood.
I think you're on mute if you said something.
Present.
Thank you. Mrs. Pupil.
Present.
Ms. Fowler.
Present.
Mrs. Ferguson.
Present.
Mr. Taylor.
Present.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, item 1.04 on the agenda tonight is the adoption of the agenda. So I will motion to adopt the agenda. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All right, Mrs. Campos?
Mr. Atwood.
Brandon?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole.
Yes.
Ms. Fowler.
Yes.
Mrs. Ferguson.
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
Item 1.05, these are the regular board meeting minutes from March 17th. 1.06, these are the minutes from the Finance Committee meeting on April the 12th. 1.07, these are the committee meeting minutes from April 12th, 2022. So I would like to motion that we approve 1.05 through 1.07. Do I have a second? Okay, Ms. Ballard, any discussion? All right, Mrs. Camphouse?
Mr. Atwood.
Yes.
Mrs. Cole.
Yes.
Ms. Fowler.
Yes.
Mrs. Ferguson.
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
All right, item 2 in our agenda, this is the presentation. So 2.01, we have our rising stars. So I'm turning this over to Ms. Cheston. All right, Mrs. Cheston.
Yep. We're thrilled to announce our Rising Stars for April. Norwood High School would like to recognize sophomore Anthony A.J. Andrews as our April Rising Star. A.J. has shown excellent growth in his academics this year. A.J. has been completing his assignments and stays on top of his grades. A.J. arrives at school with a positive attitude each day and is always adding a bit of comic relief to our classes. AJ is very focused and remains on task during instruction. AJ's favorite class at Norwood High School is economics, and he is grateful for the friends and staff who make Norwood High School great. Congratulations, AJ.
The Norwood Middle School Rising Star is Reed Heberling. Over the course of this school year, Reed has shown himself to be an exemplary student and young man. His work ethic, kindness, and willingness to take on a challenge has earned the admiration of his peers and teachers. In addition to earning straight A's in his first 3 quarters, he is a member of the track team and National Junior Honor Society. Reed's academic talents combined with his intense motivational drive ensure Reed will continue to find success now and in the future. Congratulations, Reed.
Sharpsburg Elementary and Primary Rising Star, Anthony Mercado Escobar. Sharpsburg Primary is proud to announce Anthony Mercado Escobar as this month's Rising Star. Anthony is a first grader who is eager to learn, and he comes to school with a big smile every day. Anthony's strong work ethic and unbridled enthusiasm have resulted in incredible growth, both academically and socially. Additionally, due to Anthony's kindness and ability to work well with others, he has made many new friends this year. Anthony has a great sense of humor. He likes to make jokes with his teachers and loves to laugh. Anthony loves our school pizza, and he wants to be a chef when he grows up. Anthony's favorite subjects are gym and math, and he works diligently at both. Anthony thinks Sharpsburg Primary is great because his teachers and friends are nice. We think Anthony is amazing because he gives his best effort to learn, and he is happy to do so. Anthony's teachers truly enjoy growing with Anthony each day as he sets a great example for all around him. Congratulations, Anthony.
The kindergarten teachers at Norwood View are proud to announce Irish Giles as their Rising Star student. Iris has a positive attitude at school. She is responsible, kind, and always willing to help. She loves to color, play on the playground, and play with toys with her friends. She is a wonderful role model for those around her because she sets an example of excellent behavior. She is a great listener, is patient, and thoughtful. Iris is also very eager to learn and is often one of the first students to raise her hand to participate in class. She puts forth her best effort into assignments and is constantly learning and growing more and more each day. Congratulations, Iris.
Williams Avenue Elementary Rising Star is Dax Davis. Kindergarten student Dax Davis is our rising star. Dax has made incredible progress this school year. He comes to school every morning with a big smile on his face and a happy greeting for his teachers. He puts forth his best effort in everything he does and won't stop until he succeeds. Dax is eager to learn. His favorite subject is reading, and he loves books about trucks. In addition, Dax enjoys exploring the outdoors. Dax has shown everyone that works with him that he can and he will accomplish anything that he sets his mind to. We can't wait to see what the future holds for him. Congratulations, Dax. Congratulations to all of our rising stars for this month. And we're so pleased to announce their accomplishments.
Do we want to get a quick picture?
Yeah, does Dax want a picture?
Miss Havlin will take a nice picture of Dax and all of the family and friends that came to celebrate him today.
All right.
Do we go?
Yeah.
There you go. Let's get this picture here. Hi, Dax. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Did you get it? One more. Let's try one more. Maybe more of a surprise this time. Instead of 1, 2, 3.
Hold on to his arm. Can I hold your arm? Like this?
Dax, look at you. You got it. Good job. Now I'm going to get your picture with the family. That's right. Going out there. Dax. All right.
Dax, can you get a picture with Mom?
Get a picture with you. Ready? Thank you for being here. We'll go out here on the wall. Picture wall. Thank you.
Two meetings. Let me forget.
I think that's all of our favorite parts of the meeting. I very much look forward to being back in the mini when we can have all of our rising stars and all of their families with us. So that will be nice. All right, we are moving on to item 3 in the agenda. This is the policy committee report, which is mine. So we have the first reading of several policies tonight. Mrs. Chesson went over these last week at committee. So I have a brief summary. We have AC and AC-R. This is a non-discrimination policy. In reference to any harassment complaints, it needed to be changed after Title IX regulations were complete. It has more detailed procedures for filing a complaint. Then we have EEAC and the regulation that goes along with that, and that is the same as JFCC and that regulation. And this has to do with student conduct on district-managed transportation. So there were changes in the Ohio Revised Code, and this is designed to ensure the safety and welfare of passengers. It specifically touches on nicotine products and storage of large items. We have GCB-2 and the regulation with that. This has to deal with professional staff contracts and compensation plans. This is minor changes that spell out the specific alternative license that are covered by 2 provisions for individuals seeking alternative license. And then we have IGCD, the regulation that goes with that, LEB, and the regulation that goes with that. These are educational options. So this one, the entire rule was changed, and this better clarifies with the student-specific plan. IGCH in the regulation is the same as LEC in the regulation with that. This is College Credit Plus, and this is a legal reference change and a new administrative code section. So House Bill 110 made significant changes in student eligibility for this program. IGAE, Health Education, this is changed to now include electronic smoking devices. IGCK, Blended Learning, so slight changes to SB 229, and this is a new policy for Norwood. Then we have the second reading of BD and BDDF. If you'll recall, we voted to do the first reading last week at committee, and doing the second reading tonight ensures we have this in place for this meeting as well as May and June. If the law changes, we will change too, but we will not have to change the policy. So we are adding language at the end of the policy unless otherwise permitted by state law, so we can now allow all members to be virtual, vote, and count as a quorum until June 30th based on House Bill 51. So with that, I will motion to approve the new policies and revisions of policies and regulations. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion on these?
I'm really glad they're letting us vote again.
That is nice.
That was a pain when they took it away, and then
I think
it'd be
if,
nice if they could just not have to make us go through so much red tape all the time.
I think if COVID has taught us anything, it's that we can work remotely.
Right? That
Many of
flexibility
our-
is golden.
Yes, I think employers are seeing that they're going to have to keep that around for. Any other discussion? Mrs. Campos?
Mr. Atwood? Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
All right, moving along in the agenda, we are at item 4. This is the Education Committee report, and I will turn this over to Ms. Ballard.
Thank you. In your board docs is a list of field trips that we are to be approving tonight. First is for Sharpsburg Primary First Grade, Norwood High School 11th and 12th grade, Norwood View 2nd grade, Norwood View 3rd grade, and finally the Norwood Middle School softball team. They all have a variety of field trips ranging from going down to Northern Kentucky University to visiting the zoo. So it sounds like a fun list of trips. If I could motion to approve as listed, and get a second.
I'll second that. Oh, Crohn's.
Any discussion?
Cincinnati Nature Center. Nice places.
I want to say thank you to several of the groups. A lot of the field trips too that were listed here were sponsored. We had one sponsored by the CNC, one sponsored by NTA. So the fact that we have support from the community providing funding for our kids to take these field trips is really fantastic. So thank you to those groups that are providing funds.
And I think I saw Gear Up in there too. Did I see Gear Up?
I think so,
I
yeah.
saw Gear Up. So
Yeah, there were
I hope
several
I'm not
listed in there,
misspeaking,
and
but
the cost is really low or nothing thanks to the
yeah,
partnerships that we have.
exactly, exactly. Any other discussion on those? All right, Mrs. Campos?
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
All right, those are approved. We will move on to item 5. This is personnel, and I will turn this over to Superintendent Mrs. Ronan.
Thank you. Number 1 under personnel recommendations are resignations. We are sorry to be losing these great staff members. They will not be returning. 3 of the 4 actually were out on a leave of absence and they do not wish to return. So we wish them well. Number 2 is the non-renewal of our student assistants. This is the yearly non-renewal of ASME 3136A staff employed as aides in the district. Our aides only work 9 months per year and and actually they will be reemployed at the next board meeting to give reinsurance of employment for the 22-23 school year. And right below it, you'll see avenues for success. This is the same situation. These are our after-school employees who run our great Avenues for Success program. They are also just part-time employees, and each year we non-renew them, and those individuals who wish to return, we bring back. So
I
now-
see a couple of voting boxes. Do we want to go ahead and vote on those? Okay, so the first one is under number 5, personnel, number 1, the resignations. So I will motion to approve those resignations.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All right, Mrs. Camp House?
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
And then item 2, this is our non-renewal of student assistant and educational aides. So I will motion for this non-renewal of our student assistant and educational aides. Can we get a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I will be abstaining from this vote.
And as Mrs. Ronan said, we will be putting these back on the agenda next month. This is just a formality that we do every year. Any other discussion? All right, Mrs. Camp House?
Mr. Atwood?
Abstain.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
All right, and I don't think there's a number 3 on the agenda, but the avenues for success. So I will motion to approve section 3, the avenues for success employees. May I get a second, please?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I love these avenues for success people.
Mrs. Camp House?
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Okay, so 5.02, this is employment, so I'll once again be turning this over to Superintendent Ronan.
Thank you. Number 1, under employment, we are offering summer school at the elementary, middle school, and high school levels this summer. So we are starting to hire staff. And you will see this also next month as we fill up all the positions for our summer school programming. Number 2, we would like to welcome Emma Godfrey. She is the new assistant principal for the high school and middle school, and she did come to the committee meeting, so we got to meet her. Number 3, we would like to welcome Greg Conwell as a business social studies teacher for next year. He also was at the committee meeting last week because we're giving him a supplemental contract, and number 5 to be the football varsity head coach for next year, and also in number 4, a supplemental contract to work in the spring weight room to start getting to know the students and get the program off to a good start. Then, number 6, these are extended days for a counselor to help out at the high school at the end of the year because we do have one of our counselors out on leave. Number 7, Roberta Danielson. She has been a mentor to one of our new teachers. So it's for the mentor stipend. Now, jumping down to our pupil activity contracts. We are giving a contract for track, middle school track and girls varsity track in number 1. Number 2, we're hiring another Avenues for Success club leader at the middle school level. And number 3 is simply a change in status between the site coordinator and the assistant site coordinator for the Avenues program. So thank you, and that concludes my recommendations.
I will motion to approve 5.02, employment recommendations. Do I have a second?
Do it, Mike.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
You want to change that to 5.01?
Those were the resignations.
Yeah, 5.01 were the resignations.
Oh, no, I see 5.02. I know. I'm on the same page.
Oh, I was just going to say that I love our summer school, and everyone always has an opportunity to either catch up or just prevent the summer slide. I know I have always put my children in that summer school because I just can't handle summer slide. And I know Sally Raber, who sat here with us before, she is a huge fan and always sends her kids. And when people ask me sometimes, like, what's the school going to do about kids who are falling behind? I'm like, do you know we have summer school that is completely free and they get fed and easy to get to. We have after school things. We have teachers doing extra tutoring. We have, and there's probably a lot more that I don't have in my head that you could elaborate on, but summer school is just such a great thing to take advantage of. It's easy, they get fed, it's free. You've got to keep your kid busy in the summer anyways. I always send mine.
Thank you for that great endorsement. You are so right. Well said. And it's especially relevant this year after all the
And
school we have
last year,
missed
I know
due to
last
COVID.
year you extended it even and made it more, beefed it up because to help people reclaim some of their education that they, I'm not getting the right words here, but y'all know what I mean.
Your words have been wonderful, so thank you.
I'm not getting good sentence structure here, but you know what I mean.
Any other discussion? Yeah, we spent some time with Ms. Godfrey last week at the at the committee meeting, and Coach Conwell, he's been doing a great job integrating in the community. We've seen him at the track meet, and he's been
cool.
around, and so he's doing a great job getting integrated with Norwood as well.
I'm really excited about both of these, and I can't wait to post my picture that I took at the last meeting on Facebook.
Now that it's
After we make it official, just talking to both of them, they were so friendly and so excited, and I'm just super excited for both of them.
As you know, we got Emma from the Oaks.
Yes.
And the very next night was my board meeting at the Oaks, and our CEO came up, he's like, so, heard you got Emma.
You're like,
I was like-
I did not steal her.
I was like, I didn't do it, but I'm not sorry. I love her, and I'm looking forward to having her on board. He's like, no, you got a great person there, and I hope she does really well. So we've gotten our seal of approval too from Oak's blessing to say, like, you know, he's hoping she really serves Norwood well. She's done great things at Oaks, and I look forward to seeing what she does here. So
It's awesome that we have those relationships.
I think she'll be an amazing ambassador for our middle schoolers to see the value in vocational education and a lot of those programs that kids miss out on. I mean, these kids, the programs that we offer go all the way down to 5th grade. And some of these kids get into high school with no idea of what they want to do and no possibility of understanding of how they can even get to it. I think she's going to help fill in those gaps that are needed and help identify kids that might really benefit from programs like that. So I'm excited for it.
I know Emma specifically said she was looking for a place where she could have a family at her workplace, and I'm like,
In the right place.
yes,
This is the right place.
please, let this be it. Yes.
Alice mentioned social media earlier. When we were at the track meet, what was it, last Wednesday, I think, we were at the track meet, and my manager sent me a text, and the text was one of the news articles about Norwood hiring a new football coach, Coach Conwell.
Oh.
So my manager sends me the text, and she was like, hey, like, here, like, look what's in the news. And I said, hold on. So I went over to Coach Conwell and I said, hey, can we take a selfie? And he said, sure. So he leans in, we take a selfie, and I send it back, and I said, I heard. So it's nice when I'm not the last to know something, so. All right, anything else? All right, Mrs. Camphouse?
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
All right, item 6, this is our Finance Committee report, so I'll turn this over to our treasurer, Mrs. Camphouse.
Thank you. House Bill 126 did pass conference committee and is sitting on the governor's desk for signature. It's been there for a couple of weeks, so we are somewhat hopeful that he will not sign this bill that limits our ability to protect commercial property valuations and therefore protect our residents from higher taxes. But I will keep the board up to date on this bill. 6.01 on the agenda is our financial reports. The CFO report, monthly financials, and construction change order listings are attached for your review and approval. 6.02 appropriation resolution, our budget for the year. 6.03 amended official certificate of estimated resources, our estimated revenues for the year. This is sent to the Hamilton County Auditor's Office for approval and another layer of budgetary compliance. 6.04 CenterPoint lease renewal. It's just a one-year renewal of the CenterPoint Health contract, and we're working on a multi-year lease before the next renewal. 6.05 purchase orders over $20,000. We talked about them last week. School outfitters and Hamilton County ESC. 6.06 Shea Stadium lease. This lease is for Shea Stadium during football season to Moeller High School. Mr. Richardson has worked out the dates so they do not conflict with our football schedule. 6.07, then now purchase orders. Additional board approval needed for these 3 purchase orders. 6.08, accept the lowest bid in the architect's recommendation to repair the parapet wall at North Norwood. At our bid opening last Tuesday, we had 2 bids. Houston Brothers had the lowest bid in the history with the district for these kind of repairs. You're accepting the bid with Houston Brothers for this repair. Work will start in the summer when the building is empty.
Okay, and I see we have a voting box there, so we'll stop. So I will motion to approve finance items 6.01 to 6.08. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
As far as Shea, I know something in the Mueller contract about they've got to have somebody watching the bleachers. Are we fixing the first 3 rows of bleachers?
If they need fixed, yes, we will
Yes.
fix them.
Yes, they were damaged last year. So there's actually 3 and 3 that are damaged.
Did someone damage them, or did something?
Yeah, they were jumping up and down on them.
Mueller.
Oh, it was Moeller.
It's in the contract now that they're not allowed
Yeah.
to jump up and down on the bleachers.
And it's also in the contract, they will provide supervision for their
Yes.
student sections
Right.
at their cost.
And if anything gets damaged,
that
that they
cost-
will repair.
I was gonna
Right,
ask
it's in
that.
there too. Yes,
They gonna
it is
pay
in
for this?
Are they being sought after for those costs from the
I-
damage from last year?
We did not have this kind of lease available last year. It was more of a one-pager. This one is like a 12-page lease that includes that.
Okay.
I guess it was something that wasn't foreseen that was going to happen. But
Indeed.
It
Right,
did.
if it didn't happen
It
with
did.
our own crowds, we probably wouldn't
We
have
did not,
suspected that it would
that's right.
happen with
I still
theirs
feel like
either.
just under
right.
the guise of good sportsmanship, hey, our students damaged your property, let's fix your property. But
Okay.
I'm surprised that wasn't in there for last year.
Yeah, the contract this year goes much more in-depth.
Good.
It was needed, so
Yes, it was needed.
Way back.
I feel much better about this contract.
Yes.
Julie, I wanted to mention 6.07, the purchase orders. The last one, Peterman, paid over 10% over the PO by almost $12,000 due to delayed billing.
So we do a quarterly PO to Peterman, and that covers our routes, our typical routes. This is not for field trips and athletic events. This is for our typical to Scarlet and Gray and for our handicapped students that ride buses. And so my office actually does a quarterly purchase order. But what happens is we'll stop the purchase order at the end of the quarter and start a new one. Well, then we got invoices in that should have been applied to the quarter before, and it was already closed. So it's just a technical difficulty.
So is it our fault or their fault?
It's both. We closed the purchase order too fast and they sent old
Okay.
invoices. So it's not overage in price. We expected the price. It's just their billing was delayed and kind of threw our system.
Just
into
back
the-
billing
Yeah.
a little bit.
They
Okay.
did back billing and it kind of threw our system off.
Okay.
You said Scarlet and Gray, you mean to Scarlet Oaks.
Scarlet Oaks.
I was like, we don't bus in Scarlet and Gray. We bus to Scarlet Oaks.
Scarlet Oaks, yes.
Two Scarlet things.
Just in case anyone in the public thought we were about our cleaning services.
Yeah, we don't bus the cleaning services around the city, no.
Well, I just wanted to make sure we're not paying for something that is exclusively their fault, that,
No.
you know, okay.
The invoices, the amounts on the invoices were expected, it's just they were delayed. And so
Okay.
our processes had already ended, and we hadn't started the new one yet, so that's all.
Okay.
But the price is exactly what we expected.
So
Okay,
rather than
okay,
include it
great.
in the next quarter, we just paid it to catch up last quarter.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha. Thanks for that.
Yes.
Any other discussion items or questions? All right, Mrs. Campos?
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
And turning it back over to Mrs. Campos for 6.09.
Now we're talking about Scarlet and Gray.
There you go.
So 6.09, Scarlet and Gray Cleaning Service Contract Extension. Mrs. Ronan, John, Peter, and I had a meeting with Scarlet and Gray executives, and we're pleased with the outcome. They promised extra attention to our buildings and will work to make sure we see a difference in their services right away. One of the issues we do need to acknowledge is that after construction, we really haven't had adequate time for them to come in and clean our buildings or to strip and wax the floors before the students come back. In fact, you'll probably remember this at the middle school. The general contractor released the building to us the day before the first day of school. So they have been crunched, as we have, trying to get the buildings ready for school. Mr. Capel, the owner, thought it would be great to have the summer to deep clean the buildings and then have a grand opening as buildings are complete after construction. So I think that would be nice
nice.
also. Yeah, he kind of mentioned that to us. So this contract will extend our services for one more year. And the owner is working on a deep cleaning plan that he will submit to us in the next few days. And internally, we were working on a plan to hold them accountable also. So I think we have a good plan, a couple good plans in place to get us through this year, and I expect to see results.
And the floor's not sticky tonight. It's good.
Well, we did learn that they are not responsible for this floor. We did learn that.
Oh.
Since last week.
Okay. Well, it's still cleaner than it was last week.
So I will motion to approve 6.09, the Scarlet and Gray Cleaning Service Extension. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I do have a couple of things to say, and I appreciate the comments that Mrs. Camphouse made regarding the meeting that they had today. But I am going to push back a little bit. I understand that they released the middle school back to us the day before school started, but that was more than 2 years ago. So they've since then had 2 additional summers to adequately get stuff done and clean. I'm still not happy with the level of service that they have provided to us over the years. And for that, I will be voting no on this contract extension. I understand the process that we want to use to move forward, and I'm looking forward to that. But I can't support this agreement with Scarlet and Gray.
So I know, Mrs. Camphouse, you said you were satisfied
with the outcome of the meeting. We also have Mr. Peter and Mrs. Ronan here. Is there anything, I mean, are you both happy with the meeting? Do you feel like there's a good understanding now?
I am happy. I think we have a plan in place, and you will see a marked improvement.
I concur. And, the high school was not Scarlet and Gray's fault. The contractor, Graybach, had equipment and everything strewn about the lobby and hallways, so they couldn't get in to wax those floors, strip and wax them. So that's why they look so bad this year, and it wasn't their fault. Now, we have a plan. They're going to start on the 4th floor, go down to the 3rd floor. Mr. Peter and I talked with them. We're going to talk with the contractor, saying they have to keep all their stuff down in the cafeteria in a contained area because it was just all over the building in the hallways, which prevented the cleaning. So we're going to have to work with our general contractor this summer to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
So if I could ask another question, so what accountability protocol are we putting in place to make sure that we're keeping track of what needs to be done?
And if these things were being affected by the contractor, then I guess why weren't we addressing this with the contractor sooner so that the cleaning services could get in and do their job? Because if this isn't on them, if it is a matter of circumstance, why didn't we address that sooner to get them out of the way so that the Scarlet and Gray could do their work?
Well, the
I don't want to punish the wrong group of people, if they're like, I can't do it.
That's basically what happened. They were putting those boxes in all the classrooms, and they didn't come in till August 6th. So, due to supply issues. So, that was the problem. The contractor was working. In fact, he was still working in our high school classrooms after school started, during teachers' planning bells. It's been difficult with the high school. Most of our elementary buildings, they start right away in June and they go through the next August. So they probably have 14 months to complete a renovation. And in the case of the high school, they only get June, July, and not even all of August. So over 3 years, that's still only 9 months. So that's really the problem. There hasn't been enough time, but we had no place to relocate the high school students. But we will not have that happen this year because the floors are, even though they're clean, they look horrible because they haven't been stripped. So all that stain is there that you really can't do anything until you strip it the next summer. So I didn't want you to think that was Scarlet and Gray's fault. It truly wasn't. It was the contractor, and John and I are going to work with where they store their equipment, and they've got to give us better access. But on the other hand, you have to watch them because they'll say, oh, we're late getting it done because you didn't give us access, which was your point. So it's tricky.
Did you guys hear my last question?
Mr. Atwood, yes, internally, our day shift maintenance men are each morning going to walk through the buildings and document what has and what has not been done to our satisfaction. We've already started working on a list that they're going to go off of, and we really think that extra step is going to help. So we feel like our staff have been covering for them and not bringing it to our attention of the things that haven't been done overnight, and that's going to stop immediately.
Okay, so if we approve this contract and the level of service doesn't improve, I want to make sure that we have a full understanding of the accountability protocol that's going to go right up the ladder on this.
Yes.
When's the extension to?
It's for the next school year.
Is their contract July 1 to July 1, or is it?
Do you know offhand, John?
I think it's June 1st.
June.
I feel like that's what I saw.
Yeah, I knew it was June or July. I just don't remember which one.
So, and we can, we have several months. And if we're not happy with services, we can start the process to bid out in January to get things lined up for the following year.
Well, I said, I can't think of anywhere that I go, be it school or Kroger or the mall or a church or whatever, and you see things that need to be taken care of or that out of place or whatever, but you just think, oh, well, they just missed it last night, like they'll get it tonight, or, you don't really think about this as, like something ongoing, because like I said, I didn't know this was an issue and on anybody's radar until last week at the meeting. But if Julie and Mary and John are comfortable with the meeting that was had. It sounds like the meeting was today. If the three of you are comfortable with the meeting, then I can't speak for everybody else, but I'm comfortable moving forward, so.
We really will give it our attention. We'll hold them accountable and we'll watch it.
Any other discussion items? All right, Mrs. Camphouse?
Mr. Atwood,
No.
Mrs. Cole,
Yes.
Ms. Ballard,
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
Okay, so item 7, we have the hearing of the public. I don't see any public here. So we will move on to section 8, which is reports. So 8.01, board announcements. So anybody have anything they want to share for board announcements?
You're
have
probably
one.
going to talk about scholarship day tomorrow. in
No,
yours,
why don't you go ahead? I've got several
I don't
other
know what I'm
items.
going to say about it.
Tomorrow is scholarship day.
Yeah, tomorrow is scholarship day, and I'm super excited because I get to give 3 for the women's club, and it is such a special and heartwarming day to attend and see all these kids. And our scholarship foundation is insanely amazing.
Yes.
It's mind-blowing how many scholarships we're able to give out.
You know, Alice, this year it's almost $300,000,
Holy
which is
moly.
just spectacular.
It is absolutely spectacular. And if anyone wants to start a scholarship, all you need to do, and I know I feel silly saying all you need to do, but it is $5,000. But if you have an organization that's been saving up money, $5,000 isn't that much compared to what you get for it. If you get together $5,000 and you give it to the Alumni Foundation, they will give a scholarship that is several $1,000s, like 2 or 3. Like I know for Women's Club, the amount changes. It's sometimes like $2,700, $3,500, almost all your $5,000, and do it forever and ever and ever. Like, wow. Mind-blowing.
They invest well.
Right, they invest well, and it earns a lot of interest, and you give them that $5,000 and it turns into infinity dollars that can be given out to kids for, well, hopefully forever and ever.
Is it at 12 or 1 tomorrow?
1.
1 o'clock, and it's in the middle school auditorium?
Yes.
The middle school auditorium.
We all should probably mention the Dr. Sabo dedication.
I have
You got
that
that?
for mine later, but we can talk about that now. So Sunday, April 24th is the Fine Arts Festival, and at 1 o'clock, before the silhouettes and the orchestra perform in the middle school auditorium, we will be dedicating the middle school auditorium to Dr. Kathy Sabo. So we would invite as many people that would please come for that important dedication. That would have been done a couple of years ago, but COVID. I feel like we say that a lot, but COVID. So I believe the family is going to be here.
Yes.
Kathy's family will be here, and I know some of the board will be here, so
It was her favorite space,
yes.
and it's very fitting that we're going to honor it at the arts event.
In this
So,
way. She loved the performing arts.
yeah.
And you know, there's a small reception at noontime for us
Oh, at
to meet
noon.
with the family.
Okay.
And then we'll all go down at 1 o'clock to the auditorium.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, want to
That's
make
good
sure
to know,
you get
'cause I
there
didn't
at
have that part
noon.
Yeah,
down.
we know that.
Please come at noon.
Is it okay if my kiddos are with me, or should
Certainly.
I occupy
More the
them somewhere
merrier.
else? Okay, because they have
It's
to
in the
be there
middle-
to.
Yeah, it's the middle school library is where it is.
Okay.
For the reception.
Okay.
But guests, are we doing it outside on the steps beforehand and then have folks come in? Or is the whole ceremony inside the auditorium?
It's going to be inside the auditorium.
Inside the auditorium, okay.
We're going to try to do a live feed of actually taking the paper off the plaque. We'll try, but if not, I've got a backup picture of it on a PowerPoint that we can let everyone see just in case the live feed doesn't work.
Yesterday in that space, our silhouettes and choirs performed that I got to attend. And every time I'm in there, I'm like, we are so lucky to have such a pretty stage.
It is lovely.
And they all sang lovely. It was a good time.
And they recognized our 4 senior silhouettes as well, so for their final year of performance. It's always that bittersweet concert. So,
Amber, did you have something for announcements?
yeah, I guess it doesn't really fit into any of the other reports. I had my first state appointment meeting with OHSAA this past week, and we basically did some policy updates and finance discussions, but I did get to brag about Lisbeth Banderas because they were talking at the state level about the impact of girls wrestling. And I got to brag about having the state champion from our
That's
school.
great.
And, and they thought that was a really cool thing. And I got to talk about, Chuck getting the AD of the Year award. So I really got to plug Norwood at the state level, and they thought that was kind of cool. Something that they had mentioned that's kind of important for us, especially coming into the end of year. They had mentioned a lot of students who are going into athletic programs and scholarship programs and things like that. They are missing credits, and it's usually an adult who screws up somewhere. Kid thinks that they've got, I'm taking an AP class, maybe it's worth more credits than they thought. Maybe they drop it and trade it for a regular one, but their transcript still reads as if they have enough credits. Well, because they dropped that AP class, suddenly they're missing half a credit. And now they've lost that scholarship potential, or they've lost that credit that they needed. So it's just something to just be mindful of and to look out for, especially for our student athletes, that they need that full 5 credit value to make sure that they can maintain the awards that they're getting for graduation. So it's just something they noticed a lot with athletes that happened because they're rebalancing their course load. The other thing that Chuck had me ask about were the wet bulbs that are coming. So if you're not familiar with what that is, it's a specific temperature gauge used to measure humidity out in the field so that they know if the kids are at higher risk for passing out, or if it's healthy for them to be exercising in that environment. That is something that's going to be going out statewide to any district that makes the request for them. And I know he is working on making that request of the state. They're going to be provided for free for us. I know back when I was here, we had a cheerleader who ended up having a heat stroke, and it affected her, ongoing. And I never want to have another student ever go through that again. So if this is a step that we can take to make sure our athletes are safe, I think that's a wonderful thing that we can invest in, and Chuck will be reaching out to our state level representatives to get those in.
Yeah.
Hopefully this summer. They're supposed to come in, but we don't have a date yet for the wet bulb.
Hopefully for those August practices.
I really hope before the August practices, but I know he asked me to find out about that, and as soon as they have a date, they'll let him know. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
It seems like every year when the weather gets hot, you start hearing that on the news. Some athlete just,
yeah.
unimaginable. Any other board announcements? All right, 8.02, Superintendent's Report. Mrs. Ronan.
Right. I wanted to congratulate Alayla Best. She is the 2020 she was the 2020 Ohio Teacher of the Year, but now in 2022, she was inducted into the National Teachers Hall of Fame, and she'll get to travel to Washington, D.C. So they actually made the announcement at a high school staff meeting. Amber, you were there, we were all there, and the folks made this big announcement, and she got a plaque, and the plaque that she's holding in her hand is a duplicate. The other one will actually be in the Hall of Fame. Plus, I also heard, I believe she gets to go to Disney World for a conference. So congratulations, Layla.
And she is the 5th teacher from the state of Ohio to ever be inducted. So they told us that. I thought that was kind of cool.
And then again, congratulations to Chuck, which is just great because he is the, it's a mouthful, Southwest District Ohio Athletic Directors Association AD of the Year. And he also got the Sportsmanship, Ethics, and Integrity Award.
Wow.
So yes, so congratulations to Chuck. We invited him to be here tonight, but he's got a track meet and said, I can't make it. I said, well, Chuck, you can watch it on TV. We're gonna have your picture up there. So congratulations, Chuck. And we have it on our website too. So thank you. That concludes my report.
All right, item 8.03, this is our Great Oaks report. I will turn it over to Ms. Ballard.
Thank you very much. We have had a busy month. I was put back on the nominating committee since I was the chairman last year. I get to help bring in the new chairman for this year's nominating committee for next year's board president. We discussed our diversity and equity team is developing an assessment baseline climate survey to figure out any growths and strengths that we might be looking for and strengths that we already have so that we can start building an equity policy from that. We have upcoming, the Southwest region in Great Oaks is going to be hosting the 4 counties school board celebration at our Laurel Oaks campus. That's coming up on May 5th. We haven't been able to hold it for 2 years, so it's going to be a really big event celebrating the 4 counties that feed into our Laurel Oaks campus. We also have graduations coming up, and we have 4 campuses plus our project search team. So on the 16th is our Live Oaks campus, the 17th is Laurel Oaks campus, 18th is Diamond and Scarlet. So if you happen to have a Scarlet student and you want to attend, that ceremony will be May 18th. And then our project search is, graduation is May 19th. We use a church that's up on Route 4 for most of these ceremonies, so make sure you check the website if you want to attend any of the graduations there. And then we had 3 students that won awards. First up was Delaney Grubbs. She got our March Scarlet Citizenship Award. Landon Taylor, he won the Skills USA Regional Competition for Firefighting EMS. And Amy Almangor Vasquez, she placed third at the in the dental assistant category for the HOSA awards that have been ongoing for the last couple months. So recognizing those 3 students. And that concludes my report.
Those were familiar names, especially one of them.
Not at all. I don't know Landon.
I don't know. Well, it's cool that he got recognized, so
Yes.
congratulations.
It's cool to hear what great things our Norwood kids are doing
Yep.
at the Oaks. All right, 8.04, that's the NCT update, and that is mine. I've mentioned a lot of this, but NCT has been busy setting up for the Fine Arts Festival. Again, that is going to be this Sunday, 4/24, from 1 to 4. And you can see, just kind of walk around the halls and you will see artwork from our K-12 students, and then our performing artists will also be performing as well in the middle school. Is there any, I know there's the play outside, but the silhouettes and the orchestra and band and everything is in.
It's all
it's in the middle
it's
school.
in the middle school
Okay.
auditorium.
So then the high school will be putting on a production of Much Ado About Nothing, starting at 3 o'clock on the front lawn of the high school. Make sure that you bring chairs or blankets to sit on and take in that production, and NCT will be live streaming that if you would like to watch that way. We've already mentioned this again, but Cody from our IT department is working with NCT on the auditorium dedication, so thanks to Cody for working with them. And of course, I had to ask Tyler about the horror movie because I think we're all very interested in that. And he said it's coming along great. They have 2 more days of shooting, and then they will be screening it at the last club meeting of the year. So I asked him if we could all watch it. And he didn't answer me. I don't like scary movies, but I will make an exception.
It won't be very scary.
I will make an exception
It won't be very scary.
for our club. So
Hey, if you're in film club and you're watching this, don't miss Monday. They've got to finish filming. That's all my kids complain about. They've got to be there so we can shoot their scene.
all right, so get to club on Monday because everybody is waiting to watch this. So. All right, 8.05, this is the OSBA legislative report, so I'll turn it over to President Atwood.
Saber has anything that she wants to highlight on.
At our last meeting, the majority of it was spent discussing the language on a new scholarship that we are dedicating in honor of a former member. So as soon as we have the legal language built, then we will be creating a review committee to sort through any students that apply for it. We're hoping to get it active for next year. And that was kind of our main focus for the meeting.
All right, 8.06, this is Avenues for Success, so I will turn it over to Mrs. Rarica.
So we've heard a little bit already about our fun movie club, and also I was inspired, is that the camera, to bring my kid's flower arrangement that she does in Floral Club on Thursdays. It was so pretty. I said I'm taking that to the meeting. And then the biggest thing right now that they're working on with Avenues, because all the kids in clubs are basically kind of wrapping up, right? Oh, I want to tell you, last week in Floral Club, Betty Green taught them how to make a place setting because they use their flowers for the centerpieces. And then she went through the whole, like, this goes here, that goes there, and teaching them etiquette and all this. So added bonuses. It was so cute. And then she fed them. Oh, it was pizza, but they had to eat it with forks and knives.
I did see that
Not
on Facebook.
pick it up. Yeah. So, but the biggest thing happening now is that they're trying to get ready for summer and their summer camp. And Laura is feverishly working on this because it involves a lot of grants and fundraisers and donations and of course some student fees, but she does know it will be 8 to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. The place is to be determined and the cost is to be determined still. So enrollment will be the week of April 25th and it will be online. Google Forms will be sent out and the schedule will be finalized May 16th. So, and the grades that can attend are current kindergartners through 5th graders. And so everybody will eagerly be awaiting that because a lot of parents are love that program and love having their children close by here in Norwood. It's easy for them to drop off when they go to work and come back, and they're very anxious to put their children in our summer camp because they've heard so many good things from other people who have gone. It's a much loved program.
Yes.
That's it.
Okay. All right, so item 9 on the agenda, meeting notifications, future meetings. So this has the committee meeting on Tuesday, May 3rd in the middle school cafeteria and the board meeting on Thursday, May 12th here in the middle school cafeteria.
Shouldn't it be the 10th and 19th?
That's what I was
I'm
thinking.
like, that's
but
awful
it
early.
Seems early, but I didn't.
It's very early. We changed it to a week earlier because I'm
Because of
out town
graduations?
For graduations.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say, make sure we all realize that it is early.
It is early, okay.
Yes.
Like, now, wait a minute.
It's very early.
Now, I would like to talk to you about June.
Can we do the 7th and 16th instead? Is that, I assume?
We have it scheduled for the 14th and the 23rd, and we're asking if you would consider the 7th for committee and the 21st for regular. Mr. Atwood, can you hear me?
I can.
Good. We just have several conflicts with staffing, so we were hoping that if we could make the regular meeting on a Tuesday, also the 21st.
Okay. So we're talking about May committee, May 3rd, May board, May 12th, June committee, June 7th, June meeting, May 21st, or June 21st.
June 21st, and that's a
June
Tuesday,
21st.
just so they're both Tuesdays, if that works with everyone's schedule.
I'll be out of town.
I think we'll be out of
But
town.
apparently it doesn't matter. I don't know. I can be on a
Yeah.
computer.
That's true.
Well,
And I'm like, oh geez, that's women's
Yeah, the
club.
end of the month
Well,
is
but I'll be
out of
already be
town.
having
Right.
someone else run the meeting.
So you would
if I'm
miss it
not
either
there.
way.
And the 16th, I was planning on, I was fine. I was saving it for the end of the month. I hadn't thought about the 23rd, 21st.
Yeah, the 23rd, you would have been gone.
I was thinking 7th and 16th was when we were looking at, but
Yeah. We always move June to the last of the month because I have to know how many revenues are coming in.
Oh,
And that's.
oh, then do you
yes.
want it on the 28th? That's the last.
I don't know.
It-
I mean, I might just have
think-
to call in and
Are you both gone on the 21st?
Oh yeah, I'll be
I
gone.
think so. I don't know official dates yet until the family books the trip, and they are not telling me dates. I just reserved the end of the month because that's when they kind of told me. So I just been holding on to them, and I hadn't expected to be in town, but I honestly don't know.
June's a hard month.
Yeah.
It's
July is even
summer.
more difficult, but.
But I have no more trips after that.
Well, those meetings are usually relatively uneventful, right?
That's true.
So,
Yeah, it won't be a big deal.
Okay,
So
We'll be like,
7th and
summer.
21st.
so we think the 7th
We
and
we can
20th.
always approve the days now, and then as it gets closer, when everybody more knows their schedule, we can always alter it, closer to the day.
That's a good idea.
I'm just gonna put it on my calendar for now.
ramp up and we have like the it's not a workbook, it's the book that tells us all the rules.
The handbook. Handbook.
Good job, guys, good job. Takes a team. We have to start reviewing those things, and that's not till July usually, right? Yeah, June's quiet.
okay, so again, this is May 3rd, May 12th, June 7th, June 21st. That's what we're approving at the moment, and then we'll figure it out later if we need to.
Yes.
All right. So I will motion to approve the future meetings that I just listed. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Further discussion?
Had we discussed a board retreat for this year? Because we have a new board member, we had mentioned it previously, but I don't know if we went anywhere with that. Doing a board retreat.
Not that I know of.
Okay. It was briefly mentioned that because we have a new board member and it'd be nice to just kind of regain footing post-COVID. I thought that would be kind of good to reconsider, maybe something to think about. We can talk about it next month.
Okay, sure. I'm always pro retreat. For any good reason.
Okay. All right, Mrs. Camp House?
Mr. Atwood,
Yes.
Mrs. Cole,
Yes.
Ms. Ballard,
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
I'm putting this in my phone, not
Okay,
trying to.
so item 10 on the agenda is executive session. So in accordance with Ohio Revised Code 121-22G4, preparing for, conducting, or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation. So I will motion that we enter into executive session. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Mrs. Camp House?
Mr. Atwood,
Yes.
Mrs. Cole,
Yes.
Ms. Ballard,
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
All right, the time is 7:02 and we are in executive session.
I just told Tyler.
We are entering back into open session. So the last item on our agenda, number 11, closing items. So can I get a motion to adjourn?
All motion?
All right, all in favor, say aye.
We need a second?
I'll second.
Brandon's just been saying we can all say aye.
Oh, okay.
We can say aye.
Awesome.
So let's just say aye. All right,
Aye.
say
Aye.
All right, concludes our meeting.